Okay. Hi, this is Ice with 3. Currently, it is January 5th, 2026. Okay, my other main phone has died, so it's like, yeah, I want to let that charge. So I guess inside this video, I'm going to ramble a little bit. Um, let's see here. So, let me go back and do a recap. I said for the date of February 24th, 2026, January 24th, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon, I think it made an aspect to his nodes. And so either his nose or his Pluto. And see, on that day, I think Alex Pretty, he was killed by an ICE officer. And I think 2 days later, I think Adam Schiff, he had a progression to Jupiter. I think his progressed moon made a sextile to his Jupiter. And pretty much I didn't really hear too much news on that date. But I think around that time, Don Lemon, there was a protest at a church, and Don Lemon, he basically he was reportedly he reportedly entered the church, and so basically the FBI, they later on brought charges up against him in regards to that. So it was that was around the 26th of January, and 4 days later on the 30th of January, I think I said Hillary Clinton, not progressed, her transiting Saturn conjoined her natal moon, and so I said it was gonna be a depressing day for her. And basically what happened was that the DOJ, they released some more Epstein files. And these Epstein files, boy, boy, so much. There's so much information that have come out in regards to those that new release that I can't even wrap my head around it. I mean, there are. I mean, it basically proved that allegedly proved that Pizzagate was real. Epstein reportedly and allegedly, in a lot of people's opinions, was definitely a pedophile, and so on, and also it reportedly implicated Bill Gates inside of some stuff as well. I think, well, anyway, a lot of stuff came out. There's a lot of news, and I'm still, I don't even feel like processing it, but I'm still trying. I'm looking at other people's videos and trying to, and seeing what they see, because I'm like, I'm kind of over it. Okay, so that was the 30th of January for Hillary Clinton. On February 1st, I said for Donald Trump, his progressed moon conjoined his natal IC, or opposed his natal midheaven. And around this time, I think that was the Grammys. And so there's this man, I forgot his name. Pause for a second to get his name. Wait, let me go back a little bit. Back to Hillary Clinton in regards to transit Saturn conjoining her natal moon. Pretty much on the 30th of January, the FBI, they raided Fulton County, Georgia. I think basically the ballots, the election ballots. The FBI, they basically took the boxes of ballots to be investigated. And previously, the FBI was not allowed to do that because it was a civil incident, and basically the judge sealed it under basically. Let me pause a second. Okay, so the judge sealed the case in regards to possible election fraud and stuff like that because it was a civil case. However, the FBI, they basically brought up another case in regards to the alleged election fraud, and basically it's now a criminal investigation. And so that was on the 30th of January as well. Don Lemon was arrested. Also, there's a documentary called Melania that was released. So yeah, that was that. And also, again, more Epstein documents were released. Anyway, so back to Donald Trump. On January 1st, I believe there was a Grammys, or there was around the Grammys, and a man, he basically alluded to the fact that Donald Trump may have been on the maybe have went to Epstein Island or something like that. Reportedly, or that's probably how I interpreted it, or Donald Trump interpreted it, I don't know. But basically, Donald Trump said he was going to sue this man. Let me pause a second to get his name. Okay, so the man's name was Trevor Noah. He hosted the Grammys in 2026. I need to go back a little bit because pretty much I forgot one thing. On the 21st of January, I think James Comer, he basically said he was going to hold the Clintons in contempt of Congress, and they was going to hold a vote on that on, I believe, the 4th of February. However, I think the Clintons, they came out and said that they will comply with going to the depositions, and I think they basically have new dates to go to the depositions on the 26th of February for Hillary Clinton and the 27th of February for Bill Clinton. And weirdly enough, I've been talking about Resident Evil for so long. Resident Evil 9, it comes out on the same day that Bill Clinton is subpoenaed to testify on the 27th of February, 2026. Go figure. Been talking about Resident Evil for the longest, and on the same day that Bill Clinton is subpoenaed to testify again, Resident Evil 9 comes out. And keep in mind, all the way back on January 21st, 1998, that's when Resident Evil 2 was released. Bill Clinton came out and said that he did not have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky on January 26th, 1998. And the next day, on January 27th, 1998, that's when Hillary Clinton, she had an interview with Matt Lauer. So yeah, and she basically defended Bill Clinton. The astrology lines up. It's been 28 years. It's a Saturn return of the Monica Lewinsky situation, and it's a Saturn return for the release of Resident Evil 2. And go figure that Bill Clinton and Resident Evil 9 is gonna have a major event on the same day. Anyway, so back to Donald Trump and Trevor Noah. So basically, I think Trevor Noah alluded to the fact that Donald Trump either went to the Epstein Island with Bill Clinton or some situation. I don't know. Reportedly, allegedly, I don't care. Anyway, Donald Trump said that he was going to sue Trevor Noah, or maybe the Grammys or whatever, or some people call it the Scammies, and that's just that. I don't really watch celebrity whatever news, whatever. Let me pause a second. I'm tired. Okay, then back up again. It's a lot of information. I'm sorry, but anyway, on the 30th of January, 2026, on the same day that Hillary Clinton had transit Saturn conjoined her moon. I'm talking about the release of the additional Epstein files or whatever. Basically, I think Todd Blanche, he did a press conference. And he's a deputy attorney. I cannot talk right. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. And he announced that they were releasing 3 million more additional pages of Epstein documents. So in this, so it's a press conference. So in the video, basically, let me pause in a second. Can't talk right. So in the video, it's titled "DOJ publishes 3.5 million responsive pages in compliance with, I guess, the Epstein Transparency Act or whatever." I'm working on this phone right here. This phone kind of sucks. But anyway, so at timestamp 5 minutes and 15 seconds of this video, basically Todd Blanche, he said that they excluded files from this release of Epstein documents that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. Meaning that there's probably something else that's gonna come out probably in the near future, and astrology shows that as well. Like I said, this is the astrology for this Bill Clinton scandal, and possibly in relation to Epstein. It does not end until July the 20th, 2026. And even past that, there's another date of August 9th, 2026, where Bill Clinton, he will be shocked about something. Anyway, so again, Todd Blanche said they excluded files that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. Clock that. Now, also, every time, let me pause a second. Okay, so every time that Cashy Cash Patel has an interview on the news, basically, he always says, and when he's asked about the Epstein files and their releases or whatever, he says, and everybody, even Pam Bundy, they say that basically they are releasing everything they are required to do by law. They're not saying they're releasing all the files or whatever. They choose their words very, very, very carefully. Anyway. And I have a joke about Cash Patel and these handcuffs or whatever. If you don't know, you don't know. And yeah, and this too. If you don't know, you don't know. And this too. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Anyway, pretty much, I'm tired of telling that damn joke. I'm tired. This is in relation to my story about my story that I published on Christmas Day about basically a situation where I thought that the FBI was basically uh monitoring me and basically sent me this messed up email or whatever about, and this man, he ended up being some kind of pedophile or whatever. So anyway, I'm not gonna go back there. I'm just trying to get as much news out as I can. So if you know, you know. You don't. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. I can't talk right. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so yeah, every time Cash Patel or Pam Bundy or any one of these FBI agents or these agents, they're asked about these Epstein files or whatever, they keep saying that they've released as much as they can in regards to the requirements by law or something like that. They choose their words very, very carefully. So I forgot to mention this as well. Dan Bongino, he stepped down from the FBI and he went back to his show called the Dan Bongino Show. Let me pause a second because I'm out of breath and like this is a lot of information. So okay, so Dan Bongino, he came back on his show on, I believe, January the 2nd, 2026. Not February the 2nd, 2026. And so basically I watched his whole 2-hour show, and when he first tried to get on air or whatever, I think Rumble had a cyber attack, and so his show wouldn't come on for like I think about like 30 minutes, and so yeah. Anyway, I tried to watch the show, and I'm sorry, I was bored out of my school. I was trying to figure out why people would watch Dan Bongino, and I guess he's a very, very attractive man for some people might like that. Two, he does push a lot of conservative points, but I was bored. I was bored, okay? But I watched the whole thing. I watched his first and second show. I think I watched the third show as well too. But it was only because I was trying to get as much information as I could, because I mean, he did work for the FBI, and I was trying to see, was there anything that was going to be like interesting. And so far, the only interesting thing that came out in regards to the Dan Bongino show, as far as I know, was him alluding to the fact that pretty much there are things that are going on that you don't know about. That there are things that are happening that you can't see, but they're happening. That's what he said. And see, the last time he said that, basically this was all the way back on July the 30th. No, July the 25th, 2025, and that's when they was interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell around that time. And you know, that interview wasn't released until like a month or two later. So my point is that pretty much with Dan Bongino saying that, oh, basically there's stuff that's going on that you can't see. It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. And also Cash Patel, Cash Patel. Basically, he's saying that they released all the Epsteins that they're required to by law. And you still have Todd Blanche saying that basically he excluded files that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And then also Pam Bundy saying the same thing. And not to forget that she's to testify, I think, on February the 11th, 2026. All the while on the same day, or around the same day, I think on the 12th of February 2026, Bill Clinton, his progressive move makes an aspect to his progressive natal son, and it could be an ego boost for him. But understand that in astrology, the sun is a malefic, so the sun is fired, it burns, so it's a benefic and a malefic at the same time. So it could be an ego boost, but something bad come out of it too. So it could be something good and bad. Anyway, the point is that Pam Bundy, she's gonna test. She's subpoenaed. I think she's gonna testify on the 11th, and it may give Bill Clinton an ego boost. But around February 23rd and 24th, Hillary Clinton, her progressed moon will make an aspect to her. I think her progressed to natal Mars, and also her. No, I think it's her natal Mars. It's gonna oppose her natal Mars, and it's gonna also oppose her progressed Pluto, and that deals with an angering, violent anger, maybe a sexual situation that invokes anger, and that's again on February 23rd/24th, 2026. And understand that days later, on the 26th and 27th of February, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton is subpoenaed to testify. Now, February 23rd and February 24th, that's a Monday and a Tuesday, I think. And so basically, that's the beginning of the week. And they're going to testify on a Thursday and a Friday, I believe, or a Friday and a Saturday. So it's like maybe that whole week from the 23rd through the 27th, there's going to be a lot of angering news in regards to Hillary Clinton and maybe Bill Clinton as well. Maybe about a sexual situation. Not to forget that basically I said that Bill Clinton, he has a progression on the 12th or the 13th. It could be the 11th, the 12th, or the 13th. Either way, the astrology, it can be felt, I think, 3 days before or 3 days after. But anyway, so he has a progression to his sun on the 11th or the 12th or the 13th of February. But on the 13th of February, transit Saturn, it changes signs and it goes into Aries finally. And see, every time, the last time transit Saturn went into Aries or whatever, that was all the way back in 1998, I think. And see, this is around the time that Diddy, he was involved inside of, not Diddy, involved. Yes, Diddy, but Tupac was killed. And Big was killed. Okay? And so that had some relation to Diddy. And you see what Diddy's at right now. Anyway. Also, Resident Evil 2 was released as transit Saturn entered Aries. And also you had the Monica Lewinsky scandal all the way back in 1998 when transit Saturn had entered Aries and it was transiting Aries. And I say Resident Evil 2 came out in as transit Saturn entered Aries. It's a lot of information. I'm sorry. It's a lot of information. Let's see here. So now you have transit Saturn. So transit Saturn goes into Aries on the 13th of February. Okay, so flash forward a few days later, and understand again that Bill Clinton has the progression of his son around the same time the transit Saturn goes to Aries, and Pam Bundy has to testify on the 11th or around the same time. It's a lot of information. I'm sorry. So days later, on the 17th of February 2026, there will be a lunar eclipse. And see, a lot of astrologers have been talking about this lunar eclipse. It's going to be exactly opposite Donald Trump's natal ascendant. And so it could mean that there will be a loss in regards to Donald Trump's opponents. And see, the last time there was an eclipse that hit Donald Trump's ascendant, basically Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And so there could be a high profile event in regards to a loss of a major high profile Democrat. That's what I'm saying. Let's see here. It's the 17th of February. Now, on the 20th of February, transit Saturn is going to conjoin transit Neptune in the sky, and that could deal with I don't know, maybe secrets could get revealed. I think it's on a Friday, right? Let me pause a second. The 20th of February. Pause. So yeah, transit Saturn will conjoin transit Neptune in the sky on a Friday, on the 20th of February, and see. Maybe who knows? I'm not gonna say that. Maybe some more Epstein files could be released. I don't know, because it would make sense for maybe some Epstein files to get released on either the 20th or the 23rd or the 24th, 2026, because it's shown in Hillary Clinton's chart on the 23rd and 24th that she has a progression to her Mars and Pluto, and pretty much. how do you say this? The news cycle. People tend to want the news to basically, if you are let me pause a second. Okay, so if you don't want something to be playing outside of the news for a very, very long time, you post the event on a Friday, or maybe even a Thursday, but a Friday or a Saturday, because when people don't pay attention to stuff on Fridays, during the weekends, they're going around. They get a paycheck. They trying to go drink their beer, party, and they're not studying anything. And also, Resident Evil 9 is coming out on the 27th of February. So it's like there's a lot of distractions that you could use to deflect from being held accountable for a situation. So it would make sense that on the 23rd or the 24th, that the DOJ or Donald Trump or somebody or some prominent Republican situation releases something in the beginning of the week, and then let the news just go crazy about it the entire week, and then on Thursday and Friday, Hillary and Bill has to testify, and it's just a shit show. So that could be how things play out. I don't want this video to be this long. It's 20 some minutes, because it's like people like the short videos. But anyway, so yeah, they look. The Republicans could probably release something around the 20th or the 23rd or the 24th, which ticks off Hillary Clinton, maybe, and Bill Clinton too. Let me pause a second. Okay, well, I forgot to mention earlier was back to this Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, when he released those additional 3 million Epstein file documents or whatever. And this happened on January 30th, 2026. So there was this woman inside who was basically asking this man questions. And she asked him, she said, I know you said that basically you said that you excluded files that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. So she said, is there an investigation that's going on? Is there an investigation that's going on right now? Oh. And so, oh shit. Do not play no music. Okay, so, and basically, Todd Blanche, he said that basically I can't talk about any investigations that's going on, and even if there was an investigation that was going on, it's not under my purview. It's under Jay Clayton's purview, who is the U.S. Attorney for the Solutions. No, he is the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, SDNY. And so basically, if there was an investigation that was going on, it would be under Jay Clayton. So I'm just saying. I'm just thinking back to when Dan Bongino, he said that there are things that are going on that you don't see, but that they're going on. And you also have Donald Trump. Basically, these people keep on asking Donald Trump about these Epstein files or whatever. I think they basically, a reporter, I think from CNN, asked Donald Trump what was his reaction to Bill and Hillary Clinton basically having to testify in front of Congress. And Donald Trump said that basically he actually used, I'm not going to put words inside his mouth, in my opinion, reportedly and allegedly, he used to like Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. Well, anyway, so basically Donald Trump said that he has a friend, a very, very rich friend, a very, very wealthy friend. He said that basically his friend said that Donald Trump must be one of the most honest men inside of politics, because he said that all this stuff is going on with the Epstein situation or whatever. Like, they had Donald Trump's tax returns. They had this Epstein situation and all this stuff, whatever. And his friend said that I could not have went through that and survived. And he was like, he doesn't understand how Donald Trump survived this huge political attack. They wanted Donald Trump to be inside of jail for the rest of his life. And yet, they found nothing. They found nothing. And Donald Trump just says, this man, Donald Trump, he literally has Bill and Hillary Clinton. And you know this is, right? You remember the joke that I was talking about with the adult tour situation? He literally has Bill Clinton and, well, allegedly, in my opinion, he has Bill Clinton by the literal balls. And he's just simply like, well, I used to like him. I used to like him. I'm saying he used to. He said, I liked him. I always liked Bill Clinton. He has this man by the fucking balls. Donald Trump has Bill Clinton by the fucking balls. In my opinion. Because there's 3 million more files that have not been released yet. Anyway. I'll probably make this a two video thing because I'm like, I want to react to some of the Epstein, some of the information I heard about the Epstein situation. And like, it's, there's some people saying that Epstein might still be alive. They said that pretty much there's a picture of him on Epstein Island after he was supposedly had been he supposedly had committed suicide. Anyway, so, let me see here. Let me pause a second. Okay, so back to my point. So also inside this video that was posted on January 30th, 2026, in regards to Deputy Attorney General Todd. I can't talk right. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. And it was released on January 30th, 2026. Basically, there's another reporter that asked him about why aren't the men who traffic these children being prosecuted? And this man, he was like, "Oh, we said on July, and all the backside of July 2026, right? Or 2025, sorry. Pause. So basically, Todd Blanche, he said that we stand by our what we said back inside of July. That I guess he didn't say this, but he said that basically all the way back inside July, on July the 5th, 2025, there was a memo released. There was a memo that was released that said that basically Epstein did in fact kill himself, and also Epstein did not have a client list. And so basically, I guess what Todd Blanche was alluding to is the fact that there are no men. There are no men to prosecute in regards to the men that the girls that Epstein was allegedly and reportedly trafficking. There were no men that they were trafficked to, apparently, or whatever. And it was just probably only downloaded child porn or child abuse videos. Anyway. So I'm always, I want to stop it at 30 minutes. I want to make another video. Basically, what my point was that pretty much, I think that these people are waiting for Bill and Hillary Clinton to testify, to be asked maybe some specific question, and after they get their answer or whatever under oath, that's when stuff might go down. Again, the next few dates that basically you should be looking at is basically February the 11th, 12th, or 13th, February 23rd or 24th, and then after that, I think March the 14th, 2026. But like I said, this whole Epstein situation is not going to be over until possibly July the 20th, 2025. So I'm going to end it right about here.